Good day. Magic and technology are two things that often go together like apples and tomatoes. Really, they are often mutually exclusive. Science usually invalidates magic, and magic makes science superfluous. But recently, a number of novelists have been combining the two to great effect. Thus, we enter Space Knight by Michael Scott Earl. I discovered this writer by picking up one of his fantasy works called Destroyer. It was a fantasy novel of the highest order and introduced me to the Michael Scott Earl main character. Main characters in his novels usually start out super weak, but become super powerful. The main character in Destroyer started out as just a guy, but ended up as essentially fantasy Superman. So too does Nicholas Lyons in Space Knight. Space Knight takes place in the future, where science and magic complement each other. Magic supplements science when science isn't good enough. Faster than light travel impossible? Well, just use jump magic, and so forth. The novel begins with our hero, Nicholas Lyons, taking his final exam to become a squire. In the future, one of the ways to make a great deal of money is to clear Grindel portals. What's a Grindel? That is a foul Xenos that enters our universe via portals that open up randomly throughout the galaxy. The higher level the portal, the more loot you can get. The more loot you get, the more money you can make. In the future, you can get kingdom points from Grindel loot, and kingdom points are something beyond just the traditional credit. This makes sense, since once you have magic and tech working together, a standard economy becomes impractical, and thus you need a non-renewable resource to have value enough to warrant it being used to exchange for goods and services. Nicholas Lyons and the rest of the cadets in the graduating class are supposed to face low-level Grindel enemies, but something happens and a high-level portal appears, and all the high-level Grindels attack and slaughter almost all of the cadets, sans Lyons, and one of his more affluent classmates. Since Lyons is not a Gary Stu, he does not do all that well, but holds his own. He is almost killed, but uses a latent magical ability to teleport himself and his classmate to an orbital training ship. Everyone is perplexed as to just how he survived, but he plays it off as the jump mage's last act before she died. Because in the future, any mutant magical power is forbidden, and those with them are sent to the facility. So despite surviving his trial by fire, Lyons must keep how he survived a secret. Lyons graduates and becomes a squire, and since Lyons saved the life of his affluent classmate, he now gets to pick any ship in the fleet that he wants, and he chooses the Valor, the flagship of the fleet, the choicest assignment of all. But then, Squire Lyons opens up a letter left to him by his father, a letter he couldn't open until he graduated from the Space Academy. And that letter has one word, Stalwart, the name of the worst ship in the fleet. He follows his father's wishes and works to get assigned to that ship, but runs afoul of the novel's villain, Sylvester Polgar. You know when you name your kid Sylvester that he's got a long career being a villain ahead of him. Or a cat. Sylvester Polgar says that he can get Lyons on the ship, but Lyons must spy on the ship's crew and search out any rebellious tendencies. This is where old Sylvester gets pretty bloody dumb. Lyons is as gung-ho as any 18-year-old, so he would have gladly done it, but of course Mr. Polgar has to threaten Nick's mother with death if he doesn't come through. Big mistake. And so we have the plot for our novel. Nicholas Lyons, age 18, must figure out what his father wanted, keep Sylvester Polgar happy, send his mom rent money, and adjust to a new ship. The crew of the Stalwart subverts his expectations and are generally cool people all around, and the novel fleshes out all the characters quite nicely, and Lyons is racked with guilt over having to spy upon them. The novel features a great many epic fights, and its biggest selling point really is the characters. Lyons is a cool dude, bro. He is an eager 18-year-old and works hard to succeed, and his eagerness is refreshing after reading about numerous brooding asshole characters. His adventures are fun, and it's rather enjoyable to read about his dating life. Yes, Michael Scott Earl actually made that entertaining. In short, he has numerous hot chicks coming after him, but he has to earn them, and he doesn't just get to get happy, joy, fun time at any time he wants. At the end of book 1, he doesn't get any happy, joy, fun time at all. My personal favorite shipping is him with the sexy enchantress. He gets some squire buddies on the ship, and they get good character development as well, with one of the wimpier ones getting some steel in his spine during a battle, and they eventually forge into the Space Cateers. Many of the side characters are fun as well, such as the psycho Italian bladesmith and the rowdy Scottish berserker. The voice actor for Space Knight does a superlative job giving everyone their own unique voice, and really brings the novel to life. This has got to be one of the best novels that I've listened to all year, and left me laughing out loud on a few occasions, and the experience was fun all around, and I cannot recommend it enough. And so, I am General Lotz, wishing you good, I Jedi, and good magician, or whatever makes you happy. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing, and if you can, please consider supporting me on Patreon so that I can continue bringing you this awesome content.